Hello and welcome back to Archival Diaries. I'm your host Reena and I'm thrilled to have you here today. So, today we are going to dive into a topic that is not only fascinating but also very important when it comes to speaking English confidently. That is cultural differences. Now, let's begin with a little imagination. Picture this: you are traveling to another country, maybe for work, studies, or just for a holiday. You meet new people, and suddenly you notice that the way they greet, eat, or even talk is different from what you are used to. At that moment, cultural differences come alive, and knowing how to talk about them makes you sound thoughtful, respectful, and fluent in English. So, how do we talk about cultural differences in English? Let me guide you step by step. First, we usually start by describing the difference in a simple, natural way. For example, in my country, people usually greet with folded hands, but in the US, people shake hands or hug. See, it's not judgmental, it's just describing. The second step is to share a small story or experience. This makes your conversation engaging and easy to relate to. For instance, I remember the first time I went to a restaurant abroad. I was surprised when people left tips because in my culture, tipping is not very common. Stories bring culture to life and people enjoy listening to them. The third step is to explain the meaning or reason behind the difference. This shows you are thoughtful. You could say, I think tipping is a way to show appreciation for good service, while in my country, service is usually included in the price. The fourth step is to share your opinion or feeling about it. Maybe you liked it, maybe you found it difficult, or maybe you just found it interesting. For example, at first I found it confusing, but later I realized it's nice way to value someone's effort. And finally, the fifth step is to invite others to share their experiences. If you are in a conversation, you could ask, have you ever experienced something similar? Or what cultural differences have surprised you? Now let's tie this all together in a storytelling example. Imagine I am sharing with you. When I visited Japan, I noticed something really interesting. People there bow when they greet each other, which is very different from my culture, where we usually shake hands. At first, I wasn't sure how deep to bow, but I quickly learned that even a small bow is a sign of respect. I actually loved this gesture because it felt so polite and warm. It made me think about how different cultures express respect in their own beautiful ways. What about you? Have you ever experienced something like this while traveling or meeting someone from another country? Do you see how this flows naturally? It's not just facts, it's storytelling, opinion, and curiosity combined. Let's quickly recap the steps. Describe the cultural difference. Share a short story or example. Explain the meaning or reason. Share your opinion or feeling. Invite others to share their thoughts. If you practice these steps, you will never feel nervous when the topic of culture comes up in English conversations. In fact, you will sound confident, engaging, and respectful. Before we end, here is little challenge for you. Think of one cultural difference you have noticed, maybe in greetings, food habits, festivals, or even in daily routines. Try to explain it using these five steps. Speak it aloud as if you are sharing it with a friend. This small exercise will not only boost your English but also your ability to connect with people from around the world. That's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, cultural differences are not barriers, they are bridges that connect us. Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep growing in your English journey.